from the very south of South China. Wedding, Chinese way. A colleague invited us to a wedding party in Guangzhou, and how could I pass on such an opportunity?
It was too good to be true.
The whole gig took place in a posh hotel downtown Guangzhou, where we were met by a dragon dog or some such, and a red banner above their door reading strangely, "Celebrate," which on the second glance turned out to be the more appropriate, "Celebrate." The whole shenanigan was, as I thought, to start at 5, so we made a decent late appearance, which was not, as it later turned out, that late at all. On the 18th floor, we were met by the happy couple, the bride in a white dress, a tribute to the Western wedding tradition, along with the best man and maid, and a lineup of special family representatives, sporting little red flowers on top their warm clothes. As a pleasant surprise, the groom was not offering cigarettes to everybody, which in my experience is a staple at a usual wedding in China. As it was the time of the Spring Festival, the approach to the main hall was decorated with tender spring sprouts, with pink flowers and red envelopes which brightened up the mood and the interiors. A usual Westerner's headache, a present for the newlyweds, is well taken care of here. You'll only need to give them a red envelope, so-called hongbao, stuffed with crispy banknotes, the value of which varies depending on their relation to the happy family. We prepared our own bulky hongbao, but, unlike the rest of the folks, modestly decided not to write our names on the envelopes, remaining incognito. The process of handing over the gifts was organized with an accountant's perfection. At a cheerfully decorated table bedecked with fake flowers and serious-looking senior family members. After submitting the hongbao, we had to sign our names on a long scroll of red paper. Probably that's how the hongbao trafficking was nevertheless executed, and surprisingly we got back a red bag with candies and peanuts, and as a complete surprise to me, a small golden envelope with the characters Xuanxi, which means double happiness, which contained 20 newly printed Chinese yuan. They were giving money back. And now there started the tiring 2-hour-long wait. There were 27 tables with up to 12 people each. You do the math. And 1 hour into the wait, most of the tables were still empty. The choice of music was excellent, and for the 2 hours we were entertained by a looped 1-minute-long sound excerpt which accompanied the PowerPoint presentation with the lyrics, "Free me from this prison," which for sure represented the desire of the young bride to leave for good the slammer of her single life. And, mind you, all this time the happy couple, along with a happy cohort of best people, had to stand by the doors greeting the belated guests who slowly dragged their feet to the feast of their lives. The service personnel hung around without much to do, but featured 3 different styles of dress. An interesting item everybody found in their tables was a box of double happiness. Authentic double happiness, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome! Exported from Hong Kong without custom fee paid. By the end of the exciting wait, maids with rose petals lined up to listen to a long speech in Cantonese by the evening's MC, who really took his time doing that. Less than 15 minutes into the speech, the fanfare sounded, and the little procession, leaving behind a trail of petals, proceeded to the stage. Now, what happened on the stage? The newlyweds downed a glass of liquid each, and after not having a morsel of food for all that time, I really hope they laid their tired hands on some alcohol. After that came the turn of the 2 hearts, which from the stage attracted the attention of the guests for quite some time. The first heart represented a pyramid of glasses to be filled by the couple with a blue steaming liquid from a champagne bottle. And after that, the other heart went up in flames to the enjoyment of the public. And the most amazing moment, cutting of the wedding cake, which also was towering on the stage like a white promise of a great event. But what made me suspicious was that the cutting took place at the beginning of the event, and as an afterthought was a borrowing of this Western tradition, so to say, without the roots, just as a tribute to simply faking it superficially. It reminded me of an empty act, like so many in here that are done without thinking of the meaning of the whole thing. Why am I saying that? Because no one received a piece, and as an investigation letter showed, The cake itself was made of plastic, apparently rented out to the wedding parties on a weekly basis. I'm not criticizing or anything, I'm just sorry. A funny stunt was the kissing lesson taught by the MC, who slightly overused the okaying part. And finally, under the dimmed light, the waiters started to swiftly move around the tables. The first guest to our table was a suckling piglet with fiery eyes. I bravely and skillfully used my chopsticks to find the batteries, but they were not in sight. The fiery eyes of the grilled beast magically sparkled, as if on their own. The hungry chopsticks flew to the dish in a flash, and the red-eyed piglet ended up under the service table. Here's a shot which couldn't leave me indifferent. Only 3 lucky guys at a table served for 12. While we were eating, the newlyweds were making their rounds, visiting the tables and drinking with the guests, a very nice Chinese tradition. They didn't have anything to eat for a long time, and I didn't even see them eating for the whole party. They say at weddings they're not even drinking real alcohol, which kind of makes sense. Here they are, sipping their drinks and trailing off to the next table. Pay attention to the number of golden thingies on the hands of the bride. Not a single finger is devoid of a ring. It's sort of a must to flash a great many valuable decorations. I heard stories of one happy gal having to wear 4 earrings in a single hole of the earlobe. And here's the change in the bride's dress. Now, it is the traditional Chinese red wedding dress. The dress was changed one more time, and here's a little sneak peek of the head decoration. The bride had to make one more round using different reasons. This time they were offering tea to the guests, and as the tradition goes, the guests had to give back more hongbaos, something which we were not prepared for, so we skipped. The hongbaos are wisely picked up, and off they go again. In the meantime, the groom changed and was having a rest at this table, chatting up amicably with his buddies. Here's the bridesmaid in a very nice traditional dress, who, according to her own words, looked like someone from the movie Lost Caution, a rather dubious illusion, but nevertheless, here she is. Apparently, she liked the movie very much.
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
Anyways, going back to our porks, I hope you remember the previously mentioned Porky Pig with fiery eyes. Well, the humanity-wide tradition to doggy bag it, da bao in Chinese, took over even at a wedding, and it was slightly amusing to see the little red piglet eyes flashing from the doggy bag and into the elevator. On the way back from the hotel at 9 p.m., the walk through the central street of Guangzhou, Huangshi Donglu, struck me in a peculiar way. The number of African guys in the dark streets was pretty amazing. They hung around on street corners, gnarling to me, "What's up, nigga?" with squinting eyes and whispering if I wanted to get some fun stuff. It felt like I was taking a walk in Harlem or something.
Oh, no, no, no!
Where's Guangzhou going with that grip of globalization? And a moment of free commercial break. Next day in a store, I saw this amazing carton of produce called sod milk, which resembled in itself an advertising campaign for one of the songs of an old New York thrash metal band called Also, S.O.D. The authors of such timeless hits as and of course, the actual Headbanger song, Milk. Those rugged knights of drumsticks and guitars, those hardcore rough people with tattoos all over their members, came up with the mentally chilling lyrics. I had in mind a different association with sod milk, but whatever tickles your fancy. Anywho, sod milk, ask in stores throughout China.